how important is it to you for you to be fully conscious when you pass over? He said, let's say you have a terminal illness and your doctor has you on opioids due to intolerable pain. Is there a possibility of going down some dark spiritual rabbit hole due to heavy sedation?
The answer to that is no, because the spirit is not affected physically of that at all. And normally, what happens physically to the body, it starts slowing down. It starts slowing down depending on the type of position, the situation, the illness, or whatever it might be. It starts slowing down. Could be weeks before, a month, or weeks before, and each system starts slowing down in its turn. And there's a sense of losing energy, getting tired very easily,
Yeah.
hard to move from the chair to the bed, not eating as much, losing your appetite, losing your sense of what's important, like the news events and the activities during the day that stepped aside. There's a natural sense of slowing down. And I've been reading this before about terminal illness, so forth. And a lot of people, let's say probably the majority percentage of the world when they're passing over, are usually those who are on some kind of morphine or something to help them at
Yeah.
the final stages, probably terminal illness. And I find that, well, it's as I talked to earlier, a friend of mine did a reading for this weekend, and his son came through, and the thing he said about death, which 40 years I've done this, he said something I've never heard before. He said it was slipping out of an envelope. That's the only I can describe. It was so easy. It was just slipping out of an envelope. And there are ways that we can be conscious of our passing if that's our journey, that we're going to be aware, or it could be
Yeah.
quick. But we can prepare for it as well. We can prepare for our death. There are ways of doing breathing exercises, visualizations. There are things you can do to prepare for that final time. But just slowing down. And the one thing about death, no one has to fear it because there's no pain in death. There's
Right.
no pain whatsoever. There may be pain leading up to it, depending on the type of condition you have. A terminally ill illness, terminal illness might be painful, of course, but there are medications for that doctors have brought through from the spirit world. Of course, have influenced them to come up with these medications that can help to ease the pain. There should be no pain. I believe that very firmly. There
Right.
should be no pain in physical life. There just shouldn't be. I don't think anybody should suffer either. I don't think we're meant to suffer.
Mhm.
So I know that my father, with his passing, he had pneumonia, and this happens quite often. People tend to get better right before they pass over. So a
Yeah.
lot of people get better. Oh, she's doing great, or they tell my father, oh, he's doing really well. The next thing, an hour later, they said he's going to pass away because his pneumonia's gone to the next lung. Happens quite often that there's a quickening or
Yeah.
alertness, and then they go down.
Yeah.
But no one needs to fear death whatsoever. We've done it thousands, 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 hundreds of thousands of times before. We do it every night. We go to sleep. Our spirit leaves our body every night. We go to sleep, not conscious of it necessarily, but we do. And at the time of our passing, it's a natural. I guess it was a natural stage, if you will.
I've had many readings where people who have died suddenly, they have already left their body, so they didn't feel any pain of a car crash or a plane accident. And people always ask me about that. They don't feel it; they've already left.
Kelly, that's such a great one because it's so true. From the spirit world, there are no accidents because the spirit
Right.
world, they prepare for your coming over there. There are no accidents. They know when your time is up. And the human level might appear as an accident per se, but not in the spirit. They prepare for every single person's passing over. And we
Right.
have to prepare our minds for that eventual time to go home. And I would say, make sure you cleaned everything up in your life, that you have no loose ends, no unfinished business.
Right.
And at least that's where I want to be. I know that. And I think that's a good thing to do. It's something to look forward to. I look forward
Oh,
to it.
yeah. You're not going yet, James.
I know. I say that every day. Feel like, I'm getting ready.
No, no, no.
No.
But my mother, before my mother passed, I said to her a few days before, and anybody can do this. I said, Mom, who would you like to come and get you when you pass? I asked her because somebody is going to come and get you. I said, do you want your mother? She said, oh, no. I said, would you like your father? She loved her father. She said, no. I started naming other people and I said, well, who would you want to come and get you? And she said, I want your father, which was floored me because they'd been divorced for 40 something years. And I said, why would you want Lee to come and get you? And she said, because he didn't fear anything. He was this most fearless man I ever knew, and my
Mhm.
mother feared death.
I was gonna say she did fear death. It's amazing. She really
Feared death.
she hung on for quite a long
Oh,
time, and that's probably
oh,
because she was scared, Kelly. She was
she was
fearful.
scared.
That's what kept her here. I remember that. I remember when she passed, she came to me in an airplane. I remember that very well.
I
But
think she flew up with my dad and went right to you.
it's very interesting. People ask who's going to come get you, and really what it is it's a sense of I guess from what I've been told, the bonds of love, that energy we've created on the earth, and other lifetimes, and people you've met along the way, whether you remember them or not. Those who you've touched, lives you've touched, will greet you. My friend Olivia was very close. I think you
Yeah.
met Olivia Mel.
Hmm.
And we had this agreement that whoever goes first comes back right away and tells the other what it's really like. And of course, well, she went first, and I'm driving down the street, and she comes to my car, the windshield, and I said, Olivia, you better not be dead. And she says, I'm alive. You're the dead one. Only go home and find out from an email from her daughter that she just passed. And
Wow.
she showed me, if you will, that when she left, she was, now this is someone who's been in metaphysics for years,
Yeah.
development circles, healing for years. And she said, it was quite astonishing. She said, it was quite astonishing. I didn't expect this. She said, it was so easy. She said, it was if I went to a movie theater, and I walked into the theater, and there were all these chairs and seats filled with people, and they were looking up at the screen, and I just walked into the screen. And those people were kind of just sleeping, but I was alive, and all the flowers were growing so tall, and I was met by all of these people. And she said, everyone that whose lives I touched, in a little way, I opened the door for, I smiled, I did a kindness for. They came to greet me. They came to
Wow.
celebrate my coming home. And she said, James, that's what it's like.
Wow. How lovely.